Hello everyone, I'm Wendell Jones and welcome to this edition of the program, The Platform. On this program, we examine the national issues of the Bahamas. And on our program today, we have a familiar voice on our program because the Nygard-Bacon feud just wouldn't go away. And it has been with us for years, and there are a good many Bahamians who believe that it's going to be with us for a little while to come because Mr. Bacon has been using the courts of the Bahamas to bring various lawsuits against various personalities, various organizations. And indeed, Save the Bays has been very active in asking for judicial reviews. Our guest on the program today is Vivian Whylly, and he has been an activist dealing with matters surrounding the Clifton affair, as well as a commentator on the ongoing feud between Peter Nygard and Louis Bacon. Mr. Whylly, nice to see you again.
Hello, Mr. Jones. Hello, Bahamas.
Nice to see you, Mr. Whylly. I understand you were not doing well recently.
I had a close call, and it's being medically managed. It's a heart condition that I wasn't aware of, and now I'm aware of it. I have to change certain things about my diet and my sleep pattern and so on, but it's coming around.
Well, you seem to be doing much better than you were some weeks ago, eh?
Well, I give God the honor and the glory because I am on His time. Based on what the machines were reading, I should have not been able to recover, but I'm standing and I know that God is able, and I'm proof.
You don't have anywhere to go, do you?
I only have to go when the master calls.
When the master calls?
Yes. Otherwise, I'm going to be right where He leaves me.
And where he leads you.
Leads, needs, and keeps me going.
Very good, very good. Glad to hear that. You've been following, though, even though you were not doing well, you've been following the various happenings with respect to the Clifton matter and what is happening between Louis Bacon and Peter Nygard, eh?
Not only have I been following it, I actually am aware that it's a continuation of the same pattern of abuse to the courts of the Bahamas, the government, Mr. Nygard, and any person in the Bahamas who has the Bahamas at heart, because Louis Bacon wants to be the caretaker of the Bahamas. We have a government, be it FNM, PLP, or DNA. They have to respect the choices that the government makes.
What do you mean he wants to be the caretaker of the Bahamas?
See, Mr. Bacon and Save the Bays have been spending millions of dollars to destabilize our country so that their view can come into the forefront. They claim to be environmentalists, and all their claims are false. They are not doing what an environmental operation should be doing. Instead, they have the political side under attack, meaning they're interfering with the government of the Bahamas. Mr. Jones and Bahamas, be aware that Save the Bays is attacking our government structure in permitting and ruling through the courts. They have attacked us on all fronts, and those of us who know what they're doing wanted to stop. Save the Bays has come out on their own and has said that Nygard Key is responsible for the sand at George Beach eroding. Last year, they dredged the canal just north of George Beach. They added a longer system of rocks, and they tried to keep the sand on George Beach by doing so. Well, this year, 1 year later, the sand has moved off of George Beach into the canal, and the canal that was dredged a year ago is now full of sand again. And the permit stated that the dredging company had to put the sand back to where it came from, which is on George Beach. They attempted to sell it, the park intervened, and it was put back. A year later, that same sand is back in the canal.
Who dredged the canal?
A private company that was hired by the Lyford Key Property Owners Association, who needed access into Lyford Key through the canal. The Ministry of Works until now has not given me the name of the company, and nor am I pressing to get it, but I know the name, and it will be quite evident once I get a document with the name. Then I can prove that it's them. You see, I can call a name, but I like to have the paper to show you so that we cannot be involved in slander or libel.
So the accusation then that the sand was moving in an area and causing an erosion of Jaws Beach, they were blaming...
it's in their mandate.
Yes.
It is in Save the Bay's newspaper saying that Nygard Key is responsible for the loss of sand at Jaws Beach. And what that says is they lied then, knowing that this canal was the source of the erosion. All right, they lied for that. Then you have to ask, what else did they lie about? That's what I'm saying. Save the Bays has an injunction against the park because now the very dock that their dredge was moored at is the same dock that they have an injunction on in the court to stop it from being built.
Over the last holiday, I took it on I decided, let me drive down to Jaws Beach and see exactly what is happening here. I saw scores of Bahamians enjoying themselves on the beach. There was a whole lot of sand, and I didn't see any erosion at all of Jaws Beach at that time. This was Labor Day, I think it was. But are you suggesting that there was even more sand than I probably saw on Labor Day?
That is actually it. If you were there at high tide, you would not see the erosion, and you probably were. But if you go there at low tide, it's not the holiday and there's no sand. At low tide, all of the sand has moved. It's rocks.
I see.
And that's what you need to be aware of. High tide covers it, it comes right up. Low tide is when you see how much sand is left and gone into the canal.
So you say that Save the Bays has been putting out false information?
They've been straight up knowingly, not only putting it out, knowingly. Because the people who would have called the dredging company, that's not the first time they dredged that canal. They know they have a problem. So those of them that know that and are keeping quiet in the face of the accusation that Peter Nygard, they are also responsible. And who is that? The Lyford Key Property Owners Association. They're the ones that are saying to the Bahamian people, we want to protect Clifton Bay. Mr. Jones, they were taking some rocks out of Johnstone Beach. I think I told you about this. They briefed, and well, a couple of the Save the Bays people complained, and they stopped taking the rocks out. There was a long piece of rock. Today, we have a sandy beach where the rock was taken out of. All the sand came there. And then we have also the same rocky beach with no sand.
Tell us, Vivian Whylly, why should the average Joe Blow be concerned about this? There are a whole lot of people who never been to Jaws Beach, and I have little interest in this feud between Nygard and Bacon, or between Save the Bays and Peter Nygard. Why should people be concerned about that?
The people should be concerned because in the court papers, Save the Bays includes everybody down from the Prime Minister, the Minister of Works, Minister of the Environment, all the government agencies.
They sued all of them?
All of them. And so that affects the Bahamian people.
And they sued them because
they were saying that they are showing Peter Nygard favoritism in all these things, and they are recommending punishments for what they're calling the expansion of Nygard Key. Mr. Jones, the problem with that, for me as a Bahamian, is Louis Bacon is the head of Save the Bays. He is just as foreign as Nygard. Nygard is a friend of the Bahamas. Everybody knows Mr. Nygard has supported regatta sailing throughout the Bahamas for a very long time, so he's no stranger. And people associate Mr. Eric Gibson, the father of Shane Gibson, with the PLP. Mr. Nygard has never said he didn't support the FNM, but his friends, his close circle, are in the PLP. They made it a political issue. If anybody goes to Peter Nygard with a legitimate need for funding or anything, because he's wealthy, he considers the matter and he either does it or he doesn't. But if you know anything about Peter Nygard, you would know that him and Eric Gibson Sr., King Eric, have been friends, and they have nothing to hide about who his friends are. That's like me saying to you, oh, Mr. Jones, you and Paul Adderley were friends, the Honorable Paul Adderley. I can't trust you, I can't speak to you. That's your friend. So if Mr. Nygard and King Eric Gibson were friends, and King Eric Gibson is a regatta champion, and Mr. Nygard and him make those work, or Mr. Gibson made them work, the FNM, DNA, can't tell the PLP that Mr. Nygard is not their friend, because he has been their friend all along.
He has been their friend. You talked earlier on about expanding Nygard Key. That has been, and I've seen it in print, this complaint about by Save the Bays, that Nygard expanded his key.
Okay.
Explain that to me.
My version of what they're saying is a simple one. Nygard Key is at the end of New Providence. It abuts the tongue of the ocean.
It used to be called Sims Point.
Yeah, it abuts the tongue of the ocean. It's actually about less than 100 yards. When that ocean gets rough and the waves come in, it takes away everything that is in its path. You live on the beach, you have a coastal house. If you don't build a barrier, the ocean will invade your house every time. All Mr. Nygard did was protect his investment. It's like the Chinese embassy building an embassy without putting up a wall. It's like the U.S. embassy having no barricade to stop incoming traffic. It's just the same principle. You have to protect it. In this case, the threat is the ocean, and it's constant and present. So you have to put up a wall.
And so that caused an accretion of the land.
It caused the land to be, the asset to be protected, and it caused the ocean not to invade the land.
And so was there sand buildup then?
The sand buildup is as a result of Mr. Nygard dredging the dock, where his boat docks, that little berth right there. Because the sand walks around, he just pumps it out because he has a yacht. Louis Bacon cut the whole seabed and has a canal under his house. He doesn't tell anyone about that. And that wasn't permitted. He got a post, after the fact, he got a permit to do it.
After he'd already dredged it?
Yes.
He got a permit?
Yeah. And see, these are the type of hypocritical things that the Bahamian people must be aware.
So his permit was given retroactively?
That's the word. After it was done. You see?
So did that cause any erosion of Jaws Beach? The dredging done by Bacon to get his yacht in beneath his house?
I am saying that may have had an environmental effect, but the effect of the canal north of the park causes the sand to go into that canal.
Okay. Let's take a break here. This is the platform, and Vivian Whylly, who's been here some time before, he is on our program again. It's good to see Vivian Whylly. If we take this break, we'll come back.
Yeah.